All right, Shalom Yasharallah. Before we get started, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Makakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to them for elect. Back another video, another lesson. This is going to be in the news. All right, going into the things that's happening around the world, which is it's a lot going on, man. You know, prophecy is unfolding before us. You know, we're in the end. All right, and our Lord, you know, our big brother, you know, and the angels are coming back. You know, they're on their way. You know, the time of America is almost over. You know, we just gotta continue to fight, continue to focus on the Lord, Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shai, to the best of our ability. And you know, we almost out of here, brothers and sisters. You know, out there who are worshiping the Lord in true sincerity. You know, there's a war going on. World War III is ramping up. You know, the chip is around the corner. You know, a lot of things that's happening. You know, is prophesied in the scriptures, man. You know, I want to start with this right here. Now, this was a big thing. You know, a lot of people got scared by this. Well, a lot of, I would say, younger men got scared by this. You know. It says, this is from End Time Headline, it says, automatic enrollment of eligible men into the U.S. military draft system to begin in December. And I believe that the age is like 18 to 25. So you'll be automatically, you know, automatically in the draft system, you know, starting in December. You know, and that's a you know, prophecy that we, you know, some of our apostles on down been speaking about. A military draft is going to come. You know, it says automatic enrollment of eligible men into the U.S. military draft system is expected to begin in December, marking a significant shift from the long-standing requirement that individuals register on their own. The change follows a coordinated push by federal lawmakers in a selective service system to modernize and simplify the process. Under the new approach, registration data will be gathered through existing government records, reducing the need for individuals to take separate actions. Officials say the move is intended to improve compliance and eliminate gaps in the current system. For decades, men have been required to register with the Selective Service within 30 days of turning 18, but enforcement has been inconsistent and largely dependent on voluntary participation. You know, because, you know, at one point in time, you had to, you know, I believe it was before I was born, you know, during probably, you know, the elders and, you know, older men who were in the truth, and even men in the world. During their time, you know, you had to automatically, once you turn 18, you had to go and register for the Selective Service, you know, to go and fight. But nobody wants to fight for America. Nobody wants to fight for Israel. That's who we're really fighting for, you know, because that's who. Let's get a scripture real quick one. We already in Jeremiah, Salakia. There's Jeremiah 49, and what is it? Yeah, Jeremiah 49:20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord, whose name is Yahweh, that he have taken against Edom and his purposes. And who was Edom? Edom is just not one person. Edom is the nation. All right, Edom is a nation of Esau. Edom, a so-called Caucasian man, a so-called white man. All right, the ones who are running this world. You know, the elites, the bankers. That's who our main target is to. Those who run this world, those who are, it says Job 9:24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. These are the wicked, and yes, lower level Edomites are the wicked as well. You know, but they're not causing the problem. They're not putting, you know, Salaka, let's let that go past first. Let that go by. You know, they're not the ones who are putting chemtrails in the air, GMOs in our food, poison in our food, poison in the water. You know, those aren't the ones who are doing it. The ones who are doing it are those who run this world, those who have the means to. It says they have taken against Edom and his purposes. They have purpose against the habits of Teman, which is a nation of Esau, which we believe is the Germans. Right? Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. So who's that talking about? It's talking about, you know, Israel, because they're Esau too. They're Amalek, the small hatters, who are causing, the problems of this world, who control the media, who control the food, who control, things that's happening around the world, Hollywood, right? They're gonna draw America out and these other nations to war, because America is they protect Israel. They made they have a golden dome. No, the Iron Dome. I'm sorry, America. Trump wants to build a golden dome here in America. Israel has the Iron Dome. These people get America sends them, funds, money. They protect these people. These people have their own ambulance system. These people have their own, everything. But it says in the scriptures that the Israelites will be looked down upon. It said they will have no help from, no nations. They will be actually taken as captives, as slaves. We're going back, all right. Stay on track. The updated system aims to address those shortcomings by making registration automatic. So it's gonna be an automatic registration, for men that's in 18 to 25. But don't just think that they won't come for older men as well. 26, 27, 30s, 40s. They'll come for those men too. So you YNs and you niggas in the world, you're going to fight for this country, man. And you're not gonna come back. It says, as described in the original reporting, automatic registration into the U.S. military draft pool for eligible men is slated to begin in December, reflecting what policymakers view as a more efficient and reliable framework. You can read more on your own. So the military draft is coming. That's in the scriptures as well. Let's get where it's at. No, it's the second Esdras. I believe I want to say 16. Let me see. Yeah, this is second to 16 and 33. It reads, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms. The women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. You see that? So in the wars shall their bridegrooms be. Let's read this in the GNT version. Right. Let's go to the GNT. Let's get second Esdras 16. What was it? 33. This is like second 33. Second Esdras 16 and 33. It says, young women will be in mourning because there is no one to marry them. Wives will be in mourning because they have lost their husbands. Daughters will be in mourning because there is no one to help them. All the young men will be killed in the war, and all the married men will die in the famine. You see? So even if you don't get drafted, you're still going to perish. You're going to die either in the war or you're going to die because of famine. Because there is a famine coming, I got this over here. Right? Come on. All right. This is Newsweek. This map shows when oil deliveries to the U.S. could stop because of the war that's going on over in the so-called Middle East. It says a map released by J.P. Morgan outlines when Gulf oil deliveries could largely grind to a halt across regions worldwide, including the U.S. The global system is shifting from a flow shock to a stock depletion problem, where timing, not just volumes, drives the impact. It says J.P. Morgan analysts say, according to Watch Market, the U.S. and Israel has carried out strikes on key Iranian military sites over the past month, killing Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei and several other senior figures. Iran has responded by firing missiles and drones at Israel and at several Gulf Arab nations that host U.S. forces. The conflict has caused major shipping disruptions through the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow but vital passage linking the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman and the Arabian Sea, through which about 20% of global trade flows. Central, Southern, and Eastern Africa are highlighted on the map, with most deliveries to these regions expected to stop by April. We in April now. Another circle spans several Asian importers, including China, Japan, and South Korea, and also cover parts of India within the same dashed boundary. This zone is stamped. Most deliveries stop April 1st. And you got this map right here. This is another broad oval arcs over Europe and extends to key receivers around the Mediterranean. Countries encompassed by that circle include the Netherlands, the UK, Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. Which, if you notice, these are the 10 horns right here that they just named. The Netherlands, UK, Belgium, Germany, France, Spain, and Italy. These are the 10 horns right here. Well, some of the 10 horns, right? As well as northern African nations. The label inside the oval places the stop date for most deliveries at April 10th. And, it's a lot more, but you can read on your own, which if that happens, because people are already complaining about gas prices. You know how gas prices are skyrocketing. You see? So this can cause major problems, to here in the U.S. I'm pretty sure because Iran, they have an in league with Russia and China, other countries who hate this place. They hate the whore. Let's get that real quick. Revelation was it 17? Revelation 17 and 16, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, the other nations, right? And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire. How they gonna burn her with fire? By nuclear destruction, man, by those missiles that's gonna be shot off. You see? So everything that's happening is all prophecy. The military draft, the war in Iran, right? And other things that's coming too, your job is not safe. Hey, let's get this real quick. It says AI has now replaced work for 20% of full-time employees in the U.S. I got this video here. Check this out.
Yeah, that's where the world's first.
He humping the food and shit. But check. It says robots cook your burger and fries at this new California fast food restaurant.
California. That's where the world's first ever fully autonomous AI-powered restaurant has opened, complete with burger flipping bots.
This automated grill gives the meat its sizzle as this restaurant goes robotic.
For this burger, it would take about 120 seconds.
Cali Express by Flippy is the world's first AI-powered eatery. There's new technology outside the kitchen, too. A cheeseburger. Order kiosks use facial recognition to remember you, your favorite food, and how you like to pay. Then watch the robots work. No humans required.
We can't get enough people to come out to work on fryers and grills. They're dangerous jobs. And this automation helps solve.
They're not dangerous jobs. People do it every day, but they're trying to replace people. They just want, they're trying to make everything automated. This is part of their system that's coming, So people, these AI is taking over, man. I got this other video right here.
Entry denied. You have criticized the government.
Sorry, last week you purchased too much meat and now your access to your money has been denied.
You haven't let the government know about this trip, and your access is denied.
You have gone over your carbon credit allowance of food this week, and your access to food has been denied. A day in the life of UK school children 2035 with digital ID. You have gone over your electricity allowance this week, and your access is denied. You have gone over your weekly travel limit, and your access is denied.
So that's about to be reality, man. They come out with digital IDs, AI is about to take over jobs. People are about to lose their minds, man. Don't forget the chip. That's coming too. So a lot of things happening around the world is prophecy, man. Let's get this real quick. And don't forget, civil war is gonna happen. When this society collapses, people are gonna lose their minds. People are gonna go crazy. People are gonna start looting. There's gonna be a bunch of like they show you in the movies, you know, Civil War, Leave the World Behind, Zero Day. They put this stuff in the movies, but people don't watch this stuff because they're too distracted by sports and what's going on in Hollywood, right? Celebrities, they're distracted by that stuff, you know? They're not in tune with what's going on around the world, you see? But I'm gonna get this real quick. Second Thessalonians. This 2 Thessalonians 2:7. For the mystery of iniquity doth already work. Only he who now letteth will let, until he be taken out of the way. And then shall that wicked be revealed, right? Whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth. And the wicked is being revealed by the prophets through the spirit and power of Yahweh and his only begotten Son Yahweh Shai, man. You know, Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. You see? It says, and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming. Even him who is coming is after the working of Satan. Satan gives him power on the left hand, which is really the Lord. With all power and signs and lying wonders. And they're coming with those lying wonders. They're gonna come with, you know, the lies and the deceivableness. They have to do that to get the people, you know, it's like, because when that chip comes out, it's gonna be like the new iPhone. Now some people are gonna stand against it. A majority of people are gonna take it. Because without it, you can't buy or sell, you can't be in society, you can't go to, you know, Subway, you know, or CVS or Dunkin' Donuts to purchase what you want. You saw it in the video. You can't take a trip, you can't do anything without that chip, man. You see, and with all the deceivableness of unrighteousness in them, that perished because they received not the love of the truth that they might be saved. You see, so all these things that's happening, all right, the job's taking over, right? All right, a military draft, you know, the wars that's happening around the world, you know, which is just rumors, you know, it's just noise. You see, we really want this work. We really want, you know, this place, America, to go down, because we're tired of this place. We're tired of getting up, going to work, working for this man. You know, we can't. You really can't enjoy yourself. You can't do anything. You know, we want to wake up with peace. You know, we want to wake up and not have to worry about, you know, when the kingdom comes, it's just gonna be totally beautiful, man. You know, everything's just gonna be much, much better. We can eat real food again, you know. But you know, these things. Let's get this last one. Matter of fact, let's get Luke 20. Is it 21? Yeah, Luke 21. And no. Yeah, I'm sorry. And 34, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, so that they come upon you unawares, you know, because people gonna get caught off guard when shit hits the fan, man. You know, people they don't take it serious. They think we're joking around, but soon, you know, stuff is gonna start happening, and they're gonna try to, you know, receive answers, but it's gonna be too late, man. It's gonna be too late. So Lord willing, was edifying. You know, you got something out of it. We're gonna give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kodash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and citation to those for elect. Lord, you edify. Lord, we're back with another one. Tell them to say, Shalom.